presidential and vice presidential election has come into effect today and will be in place until the 19th of March as Ramchandra Paudel and Subhash Chandra Nimwang face off in the March 9 poll. Good evening, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Discussions begin for the naming of Province 1. CPN-UML and Nepali Congress propose naming the province Koshi, prohibitory order imposed in Biratnagar. Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police completes investigation into charges against Prithvi Bahadur Shah. Government preparing to file 4 cases including fraud and organized crime. China's Foreign Ministry calls on the United States to stop politicizing COVID-19 traceability, urges EU to stop abusing concept of national security after European Parliament bans TikTok from staff phones. And cricketer Sandeep Lamichhane, alleged of raping a minor, leaves for the United Arab Emirates to join Team Nepal in the ICC World Cricket League 2 series. Included discussions have begun at the Provincial Assembly of Province 1 for its name. Talks have begun regarding the name Koshi proposed by Nepali Congress and CPN-UML. Nepali Congress and CPN-UML had proposed naming the province Koshi. The name was proposed by CPN-UML member Ram Bahadur Mogar and supported by Niran Rai of UML and Bhumi Prasad Rajbangshi of Nepali Congress. Meanwhile, the proposal of CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi to name the province Kirat Limbuwan Sagarmatha was rejected. While 6 other provinces named themselves during their previous term, the Province 1 had failed to do so. Based on the constitutional requirement, support of the 2/3 majority is required at the Provincial Assembly to name the province. Support of 63 Provincial Assembly members is required in Province 1 in this regard. The Province 1 has 40 members from CPN-UML, 29 from Nepali Congress, 13 from CPN Maoist Centre, 6 of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, 4 from CPN Unified Socialist and 1 from Janata Samajwadi Party. Meanwhile, restricted areas have been allocated in Biratnagar beginning from 3 p.m. today. District Administration Office Morang has identified the section between Devkota Chowk to Koshi Hospital Chowk, surrounding areas of District Administration Office and the Office of Chief Minister and the Council of Ministers, alongside the residence of the Chief Minister as restricted areas. Assemblies, rallies and protests have been prohibited in these areas until another notice. The Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police has completed investigation into charges against suspicious trader Prithvi Bahadur Shah and has furnished a report to the Kathmandu District Government Attorney Office. The government is now preparing to file 4 cases against Prithvi Bahadur Shah, including fraud, cooperative fraud, organized crime and document forgery. The CIB was investigating into all the crimes of different natures. Organizing a press meet in Kathmandu today, the investigators said Shah had established at least 24 companies for the purpose of fraud. The police also received complaints from over 20 people, while around half of the complaints were from foreigners. The police have said that Shah defrauded a total of 56 people. The investigators have also suggested the government to file a case against his brother Vijay Bikram Shah. The meeting of the House of Representatives called for 1 p.m. today has been rescheduled for 19th of March. General Secretary of the Federal Parliament, Bharat Raj Gautam, issued a notice today to inform that the meeting has been pushed by 18 days, citing the lack of time to prepare for the election of President and Vice President. The Election Code of Conduct for the upcoming presidential and vice presidential elections has come into effect from today. Election Commission has implemented the Election Code of Conduct from today till 19th of March for the March 9 presidential election and the March 17 vice presidential election. The Code of Conduct will be implemented on 11 types of institutions, individuals and authorities and public officials and security institutions of all the 3 tiers of government. Political parties, their sister organizations and media organizations will also need to abide by the conduct. The government will not be able to speak in favor or against any candidate. Ramchandra Paudel from Nepali Congress and Subhash Chandra Nimwang from CPN-UML are in the fray for the presidential election scheduled for 9th of March. The Parliamentary Party Work Execution Committee of Nepali Congress held discussions on the nearing presidential election. The meeting held this morning at Party President Sher Bahadur Deuba's residence in Dhumbarahi dwelt on the meeting of the House of Representatives, National Assembly and Provincial Assemblies called for Wednesday and Thursday. The 8th party of the ruling coalition will hold discussions with members of the House of Representatives and National Assembly tomorrow, while provincial meetings will take place on Thursday. Meanwhile, Congress leaders have said the meeting held today did not dwell on cabinet expansion. CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal has said he and CPN UML Chair KP Sharma Oli have the intention of reviving the former Nepal Communist Party. Speaking at Kantipur Television's weekly talk show, Tough Talk, Nepal also said the decisions taken by Nepali Congress, especially since the elections this year, was not in favor of the national politics. Nepal also shared, despite earlier comments, in fact commitments, Oli failed to take concrete steps to propose him as the candidate for the presidential election. The conversation with CPN Unified Socialist Chair Nepal regarding Nepal's political developments and changing political equations will air at 9 p.m. tonight. Speaker Devraj Ghimire has said that the bill related to media, which has remained stranded after being presented at the House of Representatives, is to be taken forward. Addressing the annual award ceremony of the International Network of Nepali Journalists, the International Nepali Journalist Association INJA Speaker Ghimire said that the problems of the media sector had to be addressed. He said that the media had played a crucial role in putting an end to autocratic regimes and establishing democratic republicanism. 8 journalists, including Salyan correspondent of Kantipur Television, Sarita Chalaune, were awarded at the program in different categories. 7 senior journalists were also felicitated at the program. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. 3 Indian nationals have been arrested in Chitwan with gold and diamond jewelries worth more than 10 million rupees. The District Police Administration Chitwan held a press meet and had made public the jewelries and the arrestees. The arrestees include the 42-year-old driver Binod Prasad, who hails from Fefana Thana of Balia district in India's Uttar Pradesh, and 2 other passengers, Ganapat Kumar Tosawar of West Bengal and 42-year-old Naresh Barma. Spokesperson of the District Police Office, Chitwan, Vijay Raj Pandey, said that acting on a tip-off, the team of police deployed from Chitwan recovered the gold and diamond jewelries from Bharatpur Metropolis, Gondrang at 1 a.m. early today. The jewelries were being smuggled and were recovered during inspection. Spokesperson Pandey said that the jewelries were hidden inside the gearbox and air filter behind the passenger seat on the back of the driver's seat. According to police, 745.294 grams of gold and 266.84 grams of diamond jewelries have been recovered, which is estimated to be worth 11 million rupees. Likewise, Chitwan police have also arrested 3 individuals in possession of 33 bottles of drugs known as Forex. The arrestees include Suraj Kumar Shahi, Prakash Gautam and Shailendra Shrestha of Bharatpur. The ease in access to highways has fostered smuggling activities in Bhojpur district. Police data in recent times shows increasing urbanization on top of lack of awareness, guidance and monitoring from parents had resulted in many youths abusing drugs. Local police in Bhojpur have so far arrested and taken actions against 4 youths in possession of brown heroin. Likewise, over 60 youths were given counseling against drug abuse and handed over to their families. The District Police Office, Bhojpur, has also destroyed cannabis planted in 276 Ropani land. Borrowers of microfinance in Gorkha staged a sit-in protest in front of the District Administration Office, demanding for scrapping of the microfinances and their loan amounts, among others. Protesters from the Struggle Committee displayed banners and placards with messages against microfinances that they say had charged exorbitant interest and caused mental stress. Protesters have also accused microfinances of taking away their personal belongings for failing to clear installments and for public humiliation. The Talbahrai temple of Pokhara, which was tilted following the 2015 earthquake, is to be reconstructed. According to the Talbahrai temple Guthi, the three-storied temple had tilted 3 inches towards south following the earthquake. Reconstruction works of the temple are to begin on the 3rd week of March. Most parts of the temple have cracked. The temple is to be reconstructed in its original design within 8 months. Technicians of the Guthi Corporation and the Department of Archaeology have expected the reconstruction cost to cost 14.4 million rupees. Of the total amount, the Department of Archaeology is to provide 2.5 million rupees. Despite the tilting of the temple, regular worshipping has continued. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what should be done to raise productivity of local crops? The options are A. Raise grants for farmers, B. Provide seeds, and C. Make policies to promote local crops. Your options are A. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. China's annual parliament opens on Sunday and will implement the biggest government reshuffle in a decade as Xi Jinping tightens control while contending with a host of challenges, from an uneven post-COVID economic recovery to catering US relations. The rubber stamp NPC will confirm Xi's new economic team after China's most powerful leader since Mao Zedong cemented a norm-breaking 3rd term and stacked the top of the ruling Communist Party with allies, including its twice-a-decade Congress in October. It will also discuss Xi's plans for an intensive and wide-ranging reorganization of state and Communist Party entities, state media reported on Tuesday after a 3-day meeting of the party's Central Committee. The government is likely to set a 2023 economic growth target of between 5% and 6% to keep a lid on unemployment, policy sources and analysts have said, with measures aimed at boosting consumption and foreign investment, among other efforts, but little expected in the way of landmark reforms. Loyalist Li Kang, previously Shanghai party chief, is poised to become premier, charged with managing the world's 2nd largest economy, with investors cautiously hoping his ties with Xi will enable him to usher in more business-friendly policies after an increasingly status turn. China's foreign ministry called on the United States to stop politicizing the COVID-19 traceability and its origins after the Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI Director Christopher Wray said on Tuesday that a leak from a laboratory in Wuhan, China likely caused the COVID-19 pandemic. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning, during a regular briefing in Beijing, urged the U.S. side to respect science and facts, stop politicizing the issue of traceability of the COVID-19 virus. White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said on Monday the U.S. government has not reached a definitive conclusion and consensus on the pandemic's origin. In a different context, China's foreign ministry called on the European Union to stop abusing the concept of national security after the European Parliament banned TikTok from staff phones. Spokesperson Mao Ning said such practices undermine the international community's confidence in the EU's business environment and urged the European side should stop overstretching and abusing the concept of national security. The move follows the footsteps of the European Commission and the EU Council last week, which banned TikTok from staff phones due to growing concerns about the company, which is owned by Chinese firm ByteDance, and whether China's government could harvest users' data or advance its interests. Beijing has regularly denied having any such intentions. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko met Chinese Premier Li Keqiang in Beijing for talks today at the start of his state visit to China. Lukashenko praised growing cooperation between the two countries and said their friendship was not aimed against any other country. The Belarusian leader said China could count on Belarus as a peaceful and calm country at the center of Europe and that both partners have nothing to hide from each other. Lukashenko also took part in the wreath-laying ceremony at the monument to the People's Heroes on Beijing's Tiananmen Square. The visit comes amid concerns in the West that China could provide Russia with weapons and ammunition for its military operation in Ukraine. China recently handed a proposed peace plan to both Russia and Ukraine for their consideration. Lukashenko is a staunch ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, and Belarus was used by Russian troops for their unsuccessful mission to take the Ukrainian capital Kyiv in February 2022. However, the Belarusian president has repeatedly said that Belarus will not be drawn into the conflict unless it is threatened. British Foreign Minister James cleverly raised the issue of BBC tax searches with India's Foreign Minister during a bilateral meeting today, the minister told in an interview. Last month, India's tax authorities conducted searches at the BBC offices in New Delhi and Mumbai. The searches came after the Indian government reacted angrily to a documentary made by the British broadcaster about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership of the western state of Gujarat during riots in 2002. Denmark's parliament passed a much-debated bill put forward by the new government to scrap a public holiday to help finance increased defense spending. The newly formed government, which has proposed sweeping reforms aimed at overcoming challenges to the country's welfare model, says the move will help raise tax revenues for higher defense spending in the wake of the war in Ukraine. Labor unions have protested a plan to abolish the Great Prayer Day, a Christian holiday that falls on the fourth Friday after Easter and dates back to 1686, since it was put forward in December. Rescue teams earlier this week found a Bolivian man who had been lost in the jungle for nearly a month. Jonathan Acosta, 30-year-old cacao farmer, got lost in the Boris Beni jungle in January 25, where he went hunting with his friends. After being rescued, Acosta was transferred to a hospital where he received medical assistance. According to local media, Acosta lost about 17 kilograms. The man told local media that he ate insects and worms to survive. He said it was unbelievable that people were still looking for him after all this time. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break.
Sports news.
Cricket Association of Nepal is making preparations to send Sandeep Lamichhane to the United Arab Emirates to play in the ongoing ICC World Cricket League 2 series. CAN has informed that Sandeep has already received a visa for the trip to the UAE. The Supreme Court had lifted the travel ban imposed on rape-accused cricketer Sandeep Lamichhane on Monday this week. Manager of CAN, Binod Das, has informed that Sandeep will depart for the UAE after finishing his medical report requested by the ICC Technical Committee and clearing other required technical procedures. A name list of 16 players, including Sandeep's name, was sent to the ICC before the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court has directed cricketer Lamichhane to report to the court within 15 days of his return to Nepal. Nepal are taking on UAE in the Tri-Nation Series tomorrow. In the meantime, Sandeep and wicketkeeper batsman Arjun Saud have been included in the draft for the upcoming The 100 tournament in England. Italian Vincenzo Alberto Anissa has been appointed as the head coach of Nepal national men's football team. The fourth executive committee meeting of ANFA on Wednesday appointed Anis to the post. ANFA had invited application for the head coach position and received a total of 168 applications. The recruitment committee had shortlisted 20 applicants. Italian Anis holds the UEFA Pro license certificate and was the head coach of Northeast United in the Indian Super League. He also guided Gokulam Kerala FC to 2 league titles. The 38-year-old was also the head coach of Belize national football team for a year in 2019. Anis is fluent in Italian, English, Spanish, Russian and Indonesian. Majority of the executive committee members have boycotted the meeting of the All Nepal Football Association ANFA Executive Committee. Members boycotting the meeting include 3 vice presidents, Driga Bahadur Kesi, Birat Jang Shahi, Deepak Khatiwada and members Rupesh Adhikari and Rabindra Chand among others. They have said that the meeting boycotted by a majority members was not valid. The meeting called for 8 a.m. at the ANFA complex in Sadapatu was delayed by almost 2 hours because of dispute. The disgruntled faction has said that their agenda was not included in the meeting. They had said that Kiran Rai and Rabindra Joshi were appointed as the General Secretary and Treasurer against the statute and had demanded including the scrapping of their appointment in the agenda. However, ANFA President Pankaj Nemang did not include the demand in the agenda for today's meeting. The disgruntled group has also alleged President Nemang of taking all decisions on his own without holding required consultations. They had demanded holding discussions by excluding General Secretary Rai and Treasurer Joshi, but President Nemang had ignored the call. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.